A man getting bit by an alligator and he screams.
Okay, quiet.
Stood out towards me.
Ow! No, not an owl. A real scream of pain.
All right, welcome back, streamers, to another episode where we once again attempt and fail to fly. Today, we're talking Alex Russell's Lurker, the Sam Worthington vehicle Relay, and another early alt with Brewster McCloud. But Jason, we have a special guest with us today, all the way from College Station via Fort Worth, via Ireland. It's Ryan Morris, a.k.a. John Ryan Morris, a.k.a. Rugby Ryan Morris.
Do you have a sumo nickname, Ryan?
Yeah. So the Dallas Sumo Club. So obviously, the Dallas Sumo Club. One of them gave me the nickname Akamanko, which in Japanese translates to red pussy. So,
all right.
Yeah. So I don't use that one very often. Usually they call me that.
I can see your parents in the stands, like, with
a big sign.
T-shirts, right? Yeah. Just one of them says red, and one of them, gotcha.
Says pussy. Yeah. I think that's a very kind of, I was going to say fitting nickname, but I don't. But maybe it's just a really nice kind of term of endearment.
Yeah.
From your sumo
Friends,
crew, right? Okay, so wait, you have I've seen these like posters of you popping up that look rather kind of menacing. So what's that all about?
Oh, so I was contacted. I was just on vacation recently in California. Part of my fall break as part of my MBA program, and so
humble brag.
I had to explain why I was randomly stuff in LA. But I got a call from this guy. So Osuna Arashi. He's the first ever sumo wrestler to compete who's from Africa. He's from Egypt. And so his Shikona, his sumo nickname is Osuna Arashi, which means the Great Sandstorm, which is probably the coolest nickname you could ever have if you're an Egyptian sumo wrestler. So he's retired. He lives in LA, but I didn't see him, but he reached out to me to ask if I wanted to participate in his new venture, which is a new professional sumo league here in America called World Elite Sumo. And so their first event will be in New Jersey at White Eagle Hall, I think is the event venue. So it's a few days before I graduate. So I said, sure, I'll fly up, go check it out, enjoy the weekend, and then come back and graduate.
So you're going to get paid to sumo?
I don't know the specifics on that
verb, by the way.
No, paid to compete in sumo. Sumo, this is actually something I talk with people about, because sumo is the name of the sport, not the person. So, because then they say, oh, I've seen a bunch of sumo walking around. Well, that's not. Then there's sumotori, which means sumo wrestler, or probably the ones that they saw because there was in London recently. They're called rikishi, which that's only refers to professional sumo wrestlers
in London.
Yeah, they were visiting London, or they were doing an event in London.
So they don't call them something else just if they're in London.
No, I guess the British people, they call them just sumo. They're like, oh, there's a bunch of sumo walking around.
Yeah, I'm sure they have different names for them too. Those British people.
So how is this how many people are going to be wrestling in New Jersey?
I have no idea. I think we've announced 3. One of them I know is my buddy Dustin Hawkins. So I think they're really trying to, I don't want to say play up, but they're trying to emphasize the international aspect. So even though, I am an Irish citizen and my parents are from Ireland, but they billed me as coming from Ireland to compete in this. not
Yeah.
from North Texas.
So you're gonna have to dust off your accent and like.
Yeah, it was luckily.
the
So my buddy
full-
Dustin, it turns out he actually is from Canada, but I always associate him as being a Florida guy because he lives in Florida and competes with the Florida sumo teams. But yeah, so he's been announced, and then I think there's another gentleman was announced today who's from Egypt as well. So probably some of the top from Egypt, and I know some of my friends from other parts of Texas are probably going to be involved, and some of the guys from the New York Sumo Club because they've really been growing and doing some really cool stuff. They'll probably be involved as well.
Very cool. What's the average age of a sumo wrestler?
I don't know. There's
Like
a cutoff though that
professionally in
you can't become a professional if you're older than 25. You can't start your professional journey if you're older than 25.
Wow, that's very ageist. And
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, as much work as they're doing for DEI by bringing in the Irish and the Canadian, they're really sort of taking it down a notch with the ageism.
You know, it's just the way it is because I think it's a lot harder to start that late. I think maybe it's if you're Japanese born. Then you can't. So if once you finish university and go get a job, they're like, no, you can't come back and go do sumo. Like
After you've had it, that's the deal breaker, right? If you've had a job,
yeah,
that's it. Yeah. How much is there? Is there much like gatekeeping in the world of sumo?
it depends. There's pockets of it. You know, with it being such a Japanese sport, there is, you know, some Japanese nationalism here and there in the professional side. But I think since the 2000s, when all the Mongolians started coming over, a lot of the Japanese fans really sort of embraced a more international form of sumo.
The way you said Mongolians, we want to be careful on this show, okay?
They're good. There's a lot of great Mongolian sumo wrestlers. Hakuho.
I'm sure there are.
Hoshoryu
How many great Irish sumo wrestlers are there?
My good friend John Gunnan, he was the president of the Irish Sumo. He is one of the top. He works for I think it's not TalkSport Japan. It's like he's one of the top English language sports journalists in Japan. So he covers sumo, rugby, and American football. And he's like a historian of the X League, which is the American Football League in Japan. And he's competed at the World Sumo Championships for Ireland a few times. He's from Roscommon, really nice guy. So one at least.
One and a half.
Soon to be two.
Well, there is also a club
too.
in Belfast, and so now they're just Sumo Nairn, which is Irish sumo. So they're the club for all of Ireland up in Belfast, and they're hosting a British Isles Championship.
They're all 130 pounds and under though, so it's not.
Yeah,
I was going to ask.
Well,
if
they
they
have a couple
were,
heavyweights, but not quite. Not like some of the Texas boys.
Are they Catholic or Protestant? There's only one right answer.
I don't think. Well, I'm not going to cast any aspersions on that.
I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm sorry. I was just kidding. Jesus, man. Okay. Anything else? Or are we going to jump into some movies?
So can we watch? Yeah, one last thing I see. So can we watch this? Is it going to be available for us to like? If we're not in New Jersey, like, can we stream it? Okay.
Yeah, it'll be streamable. I'm going to send it out to all my good friends. Across
so
the
he's
world.
Purposely going to leave us off that list.
No, you're at the top of the list. Because like I have my friends by like groups, so I have like my film club friends, family friends, school friends.
I see how it is.
And then these two idiots.
Well, you're at the top of the film club friend list. You guys and Blake.
You guys are just like off there on your own because you're weird and good. We look forward to that. We look forward to that. We look forward to cheering you on and screaming. I don't know what do people scream at sumo matches.
Like a lot of people love to yell "Hakioi," but that's just what the referee says to start the match.
Okay,
but I don't know.
So we just go like
"Hakioi,
red pussy." That's what we do.
I sort of tune out what other like people are yelling during matches. So
Well, I'll be yelling at my TV, so you wouldn't hear me anyway.
Yeah, we'll come up with our own red pussy chant for sure.
Yeah,
we'll figure that out.
I told them my nickname is Rugby Ryan, so I was like,
okay.
just keep.
Yeah,
this
that's not
going.
that's not gonna stick though.
Yeah.
You know, red pussy's gonna stick.
Yeah,
I mean, and Rugby Ryan for sumo seems kind of like, aren't you sort of like mixing your metaphors there?
Yeah, but it's what I've always gone by. I've been playing rugby a lot longer than I did sumo. I've been doing sumo, so.
Okay. What's your cricket nickname going to be?
I don't know, because I don't know, maybe bean, because I keep getting beaned in the leg by the ball. I have like huge bruise on my calf from getting hit right in the calf twice in a row the other day. It was so painful.
Well, my dog is already yelling encouragement.
She's yelling Hakido.
Actually, she's just Hakioi. She's just we're just gonna have to deal with my dog screaming at dogs across the acreage.
She's probably just such a big fan of Relay, the film of the year.
Yeah, she was really into that, which is why we're gonna sandwich that in the middle of our three films, and we are going to start today's show off with Lurker.
When I met you, it felt like it was supposed to happen.
Dude, I feel exactly the same way. But I think that you don't have to do all of this weird shit to hang with us.
Right.
We could go back to being friends. That's all I want.
But you took that from me? I can't let that happen again.
Everyone around you. We all want the same thing. I just want it more.
Changed my life. That's all I ever wanted.
You just follow my lead.
Can you start again, please?
A retail employee infiltrates the inner circle of an artist on the verge of stardom. As he gets closer to the budding music star, access and proximity become a matter of life and death. So this premiered at Sundance in 2025 and then went on to play Berlin, etc. I don't know about you guys, but I really dug this film, like for the most part. I think it looks at this idea of celebrity and fame in a kind of nuanced, complex way. And then it isn't one-sided, right? And doesn't really let anyone off the hook. It's kind of a tough hang, though.
Yeah, go ahead, Ryan. I see you wanted to.
Yeah, I felt there was a few films that have come out in the past several years that I think remind me of this, and they all failed, like as films. Like I hated Saltburn. I know that's controversial in some circles, but
Jason liked it. But I'm with you, Ryan.
I hated Saltburn, and of course, with the lead actor also appearing in Saltburn, of course, you're going to think about connections with that. But I also thought about, I don't know if you've seen it. Did you watch Fred Durst's directorial debut? What is that called?
Was it that John Travolta movie?
I think so. Where he's playing like an obsessed fan.
Yeah, The Fanatic. Yeah.
It really made me think of that as well, kind of.
And that was terrible.
Yeah, and don't forget. I mean, I think Ingrid Goes West gets lumped in here.
That was the other one that I thought is that this feels a lot like kind of it's trying to be a smarter, less schlocky Ingrid Goes West, right? Kind of a less, not that Ingrid Goes West is necessarily exploitation, but it is more, I don't know, kind of neon slash. That's not going to work. A neon / A24-esque version of this movie, brighter and I don't know, just in a weird sense. I like to see what's his face, Sonny Suljic kind of pop back up. I know he was in Killing of a Sacred Deer, but like out of the kid from mid-90s coming back up and being in something. I don't know, man. This movie, like. It was such a weird roller coaster ride. I really dug the vibe at the beginning. I like this idea of, truly digging into the social media aspect of it all. But then it kind of it lost me in the sense of like, where it just turned into this normal, he did something stupid and now he's being ostracized. And then it kind of flipped where I thought that Matthew was going to really truly like emotionally manipulate Oliver in a way. And so I like that idea of like him. I don't know. None of it really rang true for me, but once Matthew starts to after he gets his ass kicked off the bus trip, and then kind of just like segregates and isolates Oliver and makes him think that he's his only friend. I thought that was a kind of a cool twist on it. I didn't buy the ending at all. Like, I mean, like, I don't know. So this movie was just kind of all over the place for me. I really didn't. I don't know. I wanted to like it a lot. I just felt like I was like at the end of the day, I'm like, this is just like every other, like Ryan said, like every other, one of these films that really can't find its footing. Although I still say that Saltburn is the best version of this. Saltburn is the trashiest version of this. Saltburn is where the bad guy you truly root for. You really truly dig into like what his motivation is and kind of getting one over on this upper class. And in this case, I don't know if this thing had anything really interesting to say outside of this kind of social media cachet that it kind of like abandons about halfway through the film.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weak, and like I also felt that way about Saltburn in terms of the class consciousness is kind of weak and kind of tenuous. I don't know if you agree, Brock, but
so I think I like this film more than both of you, and
I liked it. I gave it like a 4.5 on Letterboxd, so I liked it. But
so you liked it a lot.
Okay. I did. That's what I was saying. I was comparing it to things I think didn't land, but I think this achieved it much better.
What I like about this is that it is like there's manipulation going on both sides, right? I mean, Oliver is always playing these guys against each other. And that's kind of something that's interesting about Matthew too, is that he understands that. He understands, or at least he sees it as, I'm just playing another part in this game. And like he says, I'm better than the rest of them at this, right? I know how to manipulate you better to get what I want, but what I want is also dependent on you being kind of a better artist than you already are. I mean, he says to him at one point, he goes, "You haven't done anything good in a while, and everyone tells you that you have, but they're just lying to you, right? Because they don't want to lose their place." And I think that's compelling. It's also, I think, interesting when Matthew is stopped outside of going back into the store he used to work at, and the guy's like, "Hey, you're my hero," right? And Matthew's like, "Hey man, you can do what I do. This could be you someday." And the guy goes, "Yeah, but what do you actually do?" And so, I mean, I like this kind of that I think Russell's commenting here on that, what people want is to be kind of a professional hanger-on, right? To be this sort of professional kind of social media entourage without actually having to do anything. And I think we see that kind of coming back in the end too, when Matthew was asked at the film festival, like, "Hey, how did you get to where you are?" And he can't answer, right? Whether it's because he can't admit the truth of that manipulation, or he just doesn't know how to answer that because he's just been faking this stuff the whole time, right? And it's kind of like this, fame by association. I think Pellerin is really good at being, creepy. And I think Archie Mattawecki is really fantastic in this as well.
Yeah, I think Mattawecki's great. I just didn't. I don't know. I don't know if I buy like the heel turn of Matthew, because the point where he becomes.
But he's always a heel. He's a heel from like the first time he meets him.
Well, that's the thing is that, but he moves so quickly from being pathetic and kind of like losing his stature. When Jamie or Sonny comes into the picture, and then getting kicked out, and then very quickly then turning it. I don't know. That didn't work for me in the sense of like, because there's like, if you take something like Ingrid Goes West, when this turns into desperation, like it only typically just goes downhill. I don't know why I'm supposed to believe that Matthew was this master manipulator the entire time when he can't handle someone like Jamie coming into the picture and kind of taking the limelight from him, and then like turning into and almost immediately flipping it and becoming this kind of like brute force master manipulator, but then allowing himself to get his ass kicked in a sense. I don't know. I didn't hate it, but like it's like I said, ultimately I didn't buy that whole that arc of Matthew throughout the story.
I mean, I think we're supposed to take that he is like, he will turn to any kind of means, right, to maintain that connection with, because they leave him. I love that they fucking leave him in London, right? They're just like,
Right.
they just
Right.
they just let him sleep, and they're like, yeah, find your own way home, right? And then they're just like, I mean, and he gets embarrassed too, right? I mean, Havana Rose Liu, who I think is also fantastic in this, right? And she doesn't get enough to do, but I think she's really good. You know, where she stops him outside the door and she's like, dude, you need to bounce, right? You can't come back. And then he busts into the room and is really just sort of made to look like really weak and pathetic at that point. And so if Matthew is this kind of like narcissist, I think, which we're supposed to kind of think, right? Then I don't know. Then I can see him kind of trying to go to any means, right, to regain some kind of status, regain some kind of connection, because like he says after he gets his ass kicked, he's like, you know, you changed my life, which isn't a lie, right? Which isn't, I mean, his life was different before he glommed onto this. But I mean, I think we're supposed to see sort of like a hyperbolic, you know, social pariah in a way as well. So, I mean, I agree that I don't think, you know, in terms of realism, is it realistic? Like, you know, no, but I don't know that it's supposed to be. I think Ingrid Goes West plays up that kind of satire more than this does. But I do think that we're supposed to kind of go, this isn't exactly, of course, like, but then Oliver sees the footage, right, from Matthew's work, and he's like, I'm actually better here, right? And so again, showing us that he's willing to sort of do anything to hang on to that status as well, right? What does he say? Don't take it away from me at one point. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I think I gave it a little more grace in that respect.
I'll just rock Saltburn again. It's cool. You guys can have this one. It's fine.
Yeah,
Dude.
Also,
I enjoyed it at the time. I think the ending, is where it sort of does stumble a little bit. You know, it's sort of tripped down one little step, where I think it could have really made a real strong point at the end. But with the documentary thing, or the documentary aspect, and it just being like, well, you know, they all ended up okay, and he actually ended up successful, and, you know.
Right, which is probably how it actually would have turned out. Like,
Yeah.
One of the things. Okay, so let me ask you guys this then. Like, and this is kind of where I really started to. Obviously, it's Saltburn-esque the entire time, but like where I really started to get the Saltburn vibes was when he does break back in and kind of works past Shy and goes into the house. And there's almost a queer moment between the two of them, which I know there's queer undertones in the entire thing, of course. But like, I thought,
yeah, that wrestling scene.
That yeah, and like, and when he's like, he like kind of he like grabs Oliver's necklace and kind of leans into him. It was I thought another one of the things where I'm like, it just feels like this movie's trying to do like way too much. And I get that, like, because again, if I'm supposed to believe, this is why I like Saltburn versus this, is I think I do believe that our protagonist there is a master manipulator throughout the entire thing. And of course, I mean, the problem with Saltburn is Saltburn has to show us over and over again that he is. I know that's one of the weaknesses of that film. I just never got that Matthew was. I feel like Matthew was kind of all over the place in this, you know, I don't know. I'm just
so I think I agree with you, Jason, that I don't think Matthew is a master manipulator. I think he lucks into this stuff.
That's what I was
right?
going to say as well. I think he
like,
sort of just falls into it and gets lucky to have this opportunity to manipulate. Like,
and when he meets the two girls and sort of then sets Oliver up that way, like I think it's just like dumb luck, right? And then he knows he's kind of got everybody by the balls at that point, and he can just kind of, you know, like drink out of Oliver's cup, which I mean, like,
so that's the part that I don't really buy, though. I don't really buy him going in and being that ballsy, knowing that his situation is so tenuous. Him going in and eating Oliver's, you know, breakfast or whatever, and because it feels like, okay, now he's got some blackmail over them. Like like, you know, I dig the idea that like the blackmail then turns into him saying, you know, fuck you. I like really, really, truly manipulating Oliver in that sense of like, I'm the only one who cares about you. These guys don't give a shit. Look, I mean, they could have kept. I mean, and I know this wasn't said explicitly, but like implied that they could have kept you out of this situation. That they don't know how to handle this. I can handle it. I can take care of it. I can make it all go away for you, even though he, orchestrated it all. That's the part that like I just had a really hard time, kind of like I said, following Matthew from that perspective of like he's let himself get lost in London, and then now he's completely flipped the script and like has total manipulative control over Oliver throughout his entire career, almost through the end, where he basically stands on Oliver's shoulders to win an Emmy or a Grammy or whatever he won at the end of the day. And then we have that scene. But
yeah,
I'm in the minority. I mean, I know this movie's liked better than my complaints, but like I said, I didn't necessarily hate it. I was just like, I think I wanted it to be meaner. I think that's why I like Saltburn, is because it was just like Keoghan just dancing around with his dick swinging at the end of Saltburn, I think is a funnier move. Speaking of which, have you seen what Pennell's next film is?
I did, but I forget. What is it?
It's like a really sexy take on Wuthering Heights. So like it's
that's right. With Elordi and
Charlie XCX doing the music.
Yeah. Elordi's and everything.
Yeah. Who's his opposite?
It's him. He's actually playing both roles. He's just so goddamn.
He's playing
good-looking.
Heathcliff and the girl. I mean, I think that's a great option. I'm actually on board with that.
Alice, Margot Robbie is the
Margot Robbie.
Female.
It's Catherine.
So who'd you ask? So Alison Oliver is Isabella. Margot Robbie's Catherine. Jacobs Heathcliff.
I don't know. I kind of feel like after Monty Python did the Semaphore Wuthering Heights, that I don't know that we need another like Wuthering Heights, right?
It's been a minute. What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
The Bronte verse is coming back. It's
I mean, it's weird.
Again.
As much as I don't like her work, I will watch anything she does.
Emily Bronte?
That's what I was like, oh.
It's like she died at 30, Brock. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Some hot takes on some 1800s literature.
Look, I do have some takes on some 1800 literature if we want to get into it. I mean, it's that's my other podcast called Ye Old Podcast with an E on both, right? On both old and podcast. No, but I like, as much as I don't like Emerald Fennell's like work, I will still watch like everything that she does. So like I'm going to go watch this new Wuthering Heights when it comes out. And, we'll see if I ever get to a point where I apologize to her like I apologize to Chloe Zhao. Probably not though.
You never know.
All right.
You never know. You may come around on Young Promising Woman,
Yeah, maybe. Anything else on Lurker, or should we move on to?
I think it was a nice little Zach Fox appearance. I think.
Yeah,
he's fun.
Look, I don't know. I thought all the performances were pretty good. I thought some didn't have as much room. I really do like Haley Rose Liu. I mean, I think that she probably doesn't get enough roles like this, or enough kind of like serious kind of roles. So she can do everything.
I think, again, I didn't hate it. I don't want to give the impression that I hated it. I just feel I was one of those ones I really wanted to love it. Because I do think all of the pieces were there. I just feel this didn't gel for me. But like, I do want to see, as much as I feel like Alex Russell like gets a lot of props, especially for this case, and because of his work on Beef and The Bear. But like, I'm interested to see what he does next. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, well then let's move on to the Sam Worthington again starring role. Look, you brought up the Sam Worthington coefficient last time. Is that what it was?
Yeah, probably.
It was like the Worthington rule, and that was like the if Sam Worthington is in your film. All right, so let's talk about Relay.
My name is Sarah Grant. I'm in possession of evidence of an unlawful cover-up.
There are a number of whistleblower support organizations.
No, I just want to give everything back.
There are official channels, but there are unofficial ones.
Who is he?
I help people who see things they shouldn't have. Who maybe should have looked the other way, but they can't.
I've never met him. That's kind of the point. It's a messaging service. They call you back.
This is the Tri-State Relay Service.
What is that?
It's a hearing-assisted device for the deaf.
The Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 prohibits relay operators from disclosing the content of any relayed conversation.
The person who's called you will type their conversation and I'll read it to you. No calls are recorded and everything you say is confidential.
There's a van parked out front. I think they're watching me.
They may try to scare you. They may try to make a deal. This is the only deal. We are not bodyguards. We are intermediaries.
We can help you return the documents whilst maintaining leverage to protect you.
Has it ever gone wrong?
Sometimes we have to walk away.
Are you lonely?
I recommend we keep communication to a minimum.
Do you have the packages?
Yes.
We got our guy.
They know who you are. You're in big danger. Why'd you do this for me?
That is my job.
Thank you for using the Tri-State Relay Service. Have a wonderful night.
A broker of lucrative payoffs between corrupt corporations and the individuals who threaten them breaks his own rules when a new client seeks his protection to stay alive. I didn't really dig this film. I thought it was kind of boring. I thought the relay calls didn't add much to what I found was a relatively stale story. So, did you just wince at me, Jason? Was that a grimace?
No,
I'm sorry. Okay. I thought you were like, you're just wrong, Brock, which is fine. I can be wrong.
No, I saw this movie months ago at the Cinemark secret screening, and I was quite confused when it started because I was like, didn't this come out months ago? And I realized I was thinking of The Amateur with Rami Malek instead of Riz Ahmed, and I think they're the same movie. I'm pretty sure. So it was woefully dull, I think.
He's going to go yell at his dog first. We'll wait for him to come back.
Are you seeing Begonia on Friday?
Yeah. I don't know about on Friday because we've got a couple of things. The Lone Star Film Festival is coming to town. So we've got a couple of things that are, and like this week is pretty crazy. So we've got Rocky Horror on Tuesday. Then we got Blood for Dracula on Wednesday. And then there's a thing on Friday. And we're actually doing a Q&A in the middle of the day then. And then we're doing a Q&A on the next Tuesday. So it's kind of hectic. So I don't know exactly when I'll see it. And I'd like to see a couple of other things at the Lone Star before it disappears. So,
yeah, I was considering, I have a presentation that day, so I can't, but I was thinking of getting a flight to Denver to go stand in line to go see No Other Choice. But I don't think I'll be able to get a ticket. They were just showing in Austin the other day, and I was annoyed I missed it. And then they're showing in Savannah, Georgia yesterday, where I'm from, or near where I grew up. So
I thought you were from Ireland.
No, that's only according to the World Elite Sumo.
Someday there's going to be some sort of like big expose about how it's like this champion sumo wrestler supposedly from Ireland is really from Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah.
And he's his true name is Red Pussy. Is McKinsey like the most prolific director that no one knows anything about?
Yes.
Like no one's seen any of his films except for Hell or High Water. And they're all relatively middle of the road kind of. I mean, they're all well received, at least IMDb wise. It's not like they're
he's got
but like
Under the Banner of Heaven has a really high score.
But like, there's some, yeah, like I'd never heard of Outlaw King, and it has like Chris Pine and like people in it. I mean,
that was the Netflix.
And that's probably the reason why I didn't hear about
Braveheart film. Florence Pugh's in it.
I know, and I don't know why I've never heard of it.
What's his name? It's not.
David
he plays
McKee-
no. The character that Chris Pine plays in
Robert Bruce.
Yes, thank you, Robert the Bruce. Yes. I didn't realize. Yeah. I think you're right about David Mackenzie being like the most prolific director that nobody remembers his name. I mean, Hell or High Water was good.
Hell or High Water was great, but I do think that so like if we compare those two films, right?
That has an incredible script too. So
right, and which is funny because we had talked about off mic about how Sheridan's writing in Landman is kind of garbage, but like I don't think he's written every word of it, but like it really is just one. It's a different time as well, and obviously I know he's different. It's a different medium that he's writing for, and he's trying to keep people engaged on two different screens. So he's writing something as simple as he possibly can on a television script. But yeah, I mean, Hell or High Water definitely has like hungry Taylor Sheridan vibes to it. That it's so tightly written, and I mean, it's just got a plain and simple a better cast. I don't think Riz Ahmed is great in this. I don't necessarily. I what's the book on? What is your guys' takes on Riz Ahmed? I can't figure out if I like him or not. And I don't think
that's about how I am. I just kind of feel like he's like a 6.5 in everything that I see him in. You know what I mean? Just kind of like like he's not god awful.
Yeah,
but he's
except for Sound of Metal, where he's like doing well. He's like a 9.5. Like
I mean, I guess his character in Rogue One. That's it, right? The Star Wars movie that he's in.
He's not.
I mean, he's doing something. He's doing something different
he's in
there.
Rogue One.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's just kind of there, and he doesn't really move the needle for me. I don't get excited when I'm like, ooh, Riz Ahmed. Right? I mean, kind of like you were saying.
You're supposed to though. Like, don't
yeah,
you
I did react that way
Yes.
to Phoenician
Yes.
Scheme when I saw the trailer for Phoenician Scheme. I'm like, oh, Riz Ahmed. But I think that was mostly more, Bryan Cranston and Riz Ahmed.
Oh, right. Oh,
right.
Bryan Cranston. Oh, Tom Hanks. Oh, Riz Ahmed.
Yeah.
Right. Which is how you feel
Benicio del Toro.
Anytime you watch a Wes Anderson trailer, you're like, oh, okay, like this has got everybody who's ever been in everything again.
But yeah, so he doesn't. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't.
Speaking of he's going to be in Hamlet later on this year. An adaptation of Hamlet.
Wait, like on the stage or
no, it's a film.
A movie?
Yeah, I don't know who this director is. I can't really. It's Anil Karia.
I'm
not sure.
And it looks like they're going to do a modern interpretation of Hamlet.
Oh, good.
We've never seen that before.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah,
back to Ahmed. I can't wrap my head around like why I'm supposed to give a shit about this guy. Like, Sound of Metal was good. I just, outside of that though, I'm like, he's just a dude, and like, yeah, we already have Rami Malek. I don't know why we need another Rami Malek.
Honestly.
Although I would prefer Riz Ahmed over Rami Malek. To be honest, I mean, if you made me pick one, and I don't think they're not the modern day equivalent of Dylan McDermott and Dermot Mulrooney, but if I were going to pick one, I would pick Riz Ahmed.
Yeah, I just feel like this is another film that like it just feels like it's trying to make him be like this, like feel like an important actor. Like he's supposed to be like, the new film with Riz Ahmed, and I'm just like, all right, he's just a guy who walks through things, and like you said, Ryan, it's just another version of The Amateur or Enemy of the State, or we've seen this movie a million different times, and that's the problem is that like one getting to the real the suck elephant in the room is that why are people still I don't
these movies where you have like a meek sort of actor protagonist doing an action movie
Well,
yeah,
I get from the perspective of kind of like the John Wick nobody type thing, but I mean, I know this is not what this is, but like, I don't know why people like. You take what Hell or High Water had going for it, which is Jeff Bridges as the quote unquote, bad guy or the foil in this case. Like, Worthington can't act his way out of a wet paper sack. He is so boring in this, and the bad guys are just boring in general. At least in something like an Enemy of the State, you had Voight and all these guys that were like felt like they were really, really, truly menacing. And then, obviously, this film then, at the 3/4 mark, undercuts its entire story. And not that you can't see this coming from fucking Broad Street, right? I mean, where Lily James ends up being the bad guy. And it's all just a piece to get, because otherwise, why are you top billing Riz Ahmed in this case? But I don't know, man. This whole thing just felt dumb, and it felt like artificial. It felt like the music was intentionally just trying to keep the entire thing ramped up. I mean, almost entirely. And it's such a low stakes, like every other film that has done something like this, from The Insider to Aaron Brockovich to all of these films, are way better and way more. I mean, this feels like why are you trying to do something Grisham-esque when you don't have the chops to do it? And yeah, it just ended up being, again, like you said, Ryan, I don't buy for a second the ending where he's bashing Worthington's head and breaking the window out and throwing a guy out of the car into traffic. And over what? The stakes are so low in this, $500,000. I mean, again, I know they're trying to get to him at the end of the day, but it just feels like this guy, I don't know, none of it. He's trying to start to peel back the onion. The actual story doesn't make any sense either.
No, and the stakes are moral rather than monetary, but that's never really heightened enough. There's never enough on that moral stuff to make us understand why this guy gives a shit, right? I mean, the story about his sort of Wall Street career doesn't really do it. And even then, when he talks about when he meets with his sponsor, and the sponsor is when he says, I'm doing something on the side, and she's like, is it legal? And he's kind of and she's like, look, addicts do addict stuff, right? Looking to do dangerous things. They don't do anything with that either. And that's an interesting kind of tidbit of information too. So those two things together should have been kind of, played up to give us the stakes, but they're just never there. And so, yeah, by the end of it, we're like, why does he give a shit about these people? Because he clearly does, right? But yeah.
And the storyline, again, the sponsor is just Chekhov's gun as well. You can see that coming from a mile away, that this is going to come back, and she's going. I mean, as soon as she announces herself as a cop, you're going, okay, well, that's how this is all going to end. Is that?
Yeah.
And so any of the suspense that they're trying to build, just doesn't make any sense.
And you're right, Jason. The bad guy should be the most. I think the bad guy should be the most kind of interesting, or the most fun aspects of a film like this, right? Worthington should be somebody who is just kind of cackling his way through this, right? Or is just so fucking mean, right? Or scary, but he's just kind of milquetoast. And look, I'm pretty sure that Sam Worthington could beat me up, but that doesn't mean that I'm scared of him. Right. But I mean, he should be so nefarious that we're just oof, this guy. But,
it doesn't. None of it ever really rings. Like I said, this film does not hold up to scrutiny whatsoever. It's not clever enough to have the turn that it makes. Because if you go back and watch this, and again, I'm not going to do that, but if you go, and sorry, Brian, for making you watch it twice, but if you were going to go back to watch this, none of the actions of the bad guys are going to make sense in the case that Lily James or Sarah is a part of, right? At no point, if all they were trying to do is capture Riz Ahmed, they could have done that as soon as they saw, they could have done it. It's so ridiculous that, they could have done it at the airport. They could have figured out this whole thing about I don't know, it won't hold up to scrutiny as far as these guys, the way that they're behaving, just simply wouldn't make sense in what they're trying to do, which is to actually put a hand on Riz Ahmed and to get him to turn over whatever documents he currently has in the system. Also that someone who does this for a living, would seemingly like have some sort of like knowledge about like what is and what isn't like insider trading or harmful information and so that fact that she turns over this document that doesn't mean anything, like I don't know, I mean it was ultimately, yeah, I know that's picking apart a movie that most people probably wouldn't probably wouldn't care about, but really like you said, like Worthington and Willa Fitzgerald are so wildly boring, and the set pieces are so wildly boring. The whole like the whole thing where they set it up at the music hall, to capture him there, like there's no tension in that scene at all. And there's really, like I said, by the time they get him into the van and you see that Lily James is going to like tase him, again, why would we care? Because it is so obvious that this is actually what's going to happen. So it sucked.
Yeah, I felt so bored throughout. I've come up with a new genre of film, which is Cinemark secret screenings, because they're always like this. And I'm probably going to go see Christie tomorrow, or it's going to be.
Is that what it is tomorrow?
That's why I'm guessing the next one tomorrow is.
There's a movie I have no interest in seeing.
No, because you've seen I, Tonya, so why the hell would you go see Christie?
Yeah.
Like, also, like they have to be reeling from the Smashing Machine doing so poorly, and then knowing that their box office is just going to be like, and not that again, I know that I said last time I wasn't going to talk about box office, but knowing that this movie is not going to do well and no one's going to go see it. It's a weird, like we've all seen $1 Million Baby and like there's to see a strong woman in an abusive relationship again, like in another go watch Love Lies Bleeding again rather than
yeah,
save your $5, Ryan, and and go watch Love Lies Bleeding, rather than going to Cinemark secret screenings and seeing.
Yeah, but I'm so
Christie.
close to the platinum membership.
How many times do you have to go for the platinum?
You have to go 24 times in a year, or 650 total tickets.
So what are we making of Sydney Sweeney at this point then?
I've only seen her in one movie, Americana, which sucked ass. That movie sucks so bad. I honestly, I don't know how y'all feel. You've watched more than me this year. You watch a lot more outsider stuff, but this has been a weak year.
I don't think so. I think it's been a particularly strong year, actually. But
really,
but I think
in terms of mainstream stuff, I think it's been I think I've been disappointed by a lot of things, also, because I think the high points of this year were Sinners, Superman, and One Battle After Another, and then everything else is a stark drop off.
I'd have to go look at the list, but I mean, like, I think, I think specifically just for, I think there's going to be probably 15 or 20 films that really kind of stand out from this year, and to get those in a year where we get probably the biggest moneymaker being set. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but where we get significant traction behind something like Sinners. And then having One Battle After Another be really being great as well. I think it's going to turn out to be.
Years Later was great.
Yeah. See,
okay, I'm actually looking at my list. There's some good stuff.
If you're going to go, I think if you go back through it, I think you're going to find that this is not as weak as you might have believed. But I do think, yes.
I just think the lows are so low.
Yeah, but that's the case in every year, though. I mean, I think there's going to be the things that really suck are yeah. And I mean, to keep in mind, Americana was filmed in 23 or 22, so it sat on the shelf for a long. And it only
was that a writer's strike one or an actor's strike one?
It might have been an actor's strike one, and that only becomes popular because that probably only actually gets released is because one, they probably didn't have anything to sit in the theaters, but they were also after Anyone But You and Immaculate come out. I think those two then kind of, and then Sweeney's whole piece with being on Saturday Night Live. I mean, American Eagle was right at basically at the same time. So those two things kind of hit right at the same time.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. I think she was getting a lot of press, so that's why they kind of pulled Americana off the shelf to see if they could get anything out of it. I don't know. I think she was good and immaculate. I think she's serviceable. I don't necessarily know what kind of depth she has. I think Christy is going to be another one of those ones that like exists in this realm of. I don't think it's going to do what I, Tonya does for Margot Robbie. I don't think it's going to do what Going Ugly did for Charlize Theron and like those types. And again, ugly. I don't need to be that guy, but it was just a general sentiment that you
going blind for Jamie Foxx, that kind of idea. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I think it's kind of played out, and I do think that obviously the American Eagle stuff will backlash, but this just does not look like a very good movie, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
It just feels like another middling biopic that we've all seen before. So I don't know.
Do you think the Safdies are going to get back together, like the Coens?
Not if Marty Supreme is amazing.
Marty Supreme's going to be amazing.
Then no.
It does look pretty good.
Yeah. I think it is. So yeah, they're probably going to that divorce will probably stand, right? I mean, like the Coens have to get back together, don't they?
Well, one of them does. I mean, because Ethan's does this doing the Honey Don't and the terrible lesbian trilogy.
What is up with Ethan's like obsession with dildos?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not him. It's his wife.
Yeah,
I think that's what's.
Doesn't he have this like the weird sort of open relationship thing? I've only heard things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. She didn't ask us, so it's hard to say. But yeah, from what I understand, there's
she only
weird,
gave me hints. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, they're like 80 now, so it's fine. But
right.
I mean, they're not 80.
Ethan is the one who needs to come back with Joel. I think Joel would be fine without Ethan, but we'll see.
But Joel's only made one movie, right? He's only made Tragedy Macbeth. Which is great.
But also, exactly, right? And also tells you that maybe he's kind of like, you know what? I'm good. I don't know why Ethan is out here still like chasing like whatever he's trying to chase, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. All right.
We
good with Relay because we moved on from that, I think, pretty quick to talk about the Coens and Sydney Sweeney. And if we're talking about Sydney Sweeney instead of a movie that she's not in, I wonder what we're doing.
So, how do we feel about
what do
Lily
you think
James?
is the worst movie you've seen all year?
Oh,
the worst movie?
I think it's Ham.
It's what?
Ham.
No. I mean, like if we're going by current standards, I'm going to say highest to lowest. I mean, like
highest to lowest is pretty bad.
What about Nobody? Did you see Nobody too?
No, that would be that's not something.
No,
that was rough.
I mean, like what? Well, how could it have possibly?
I mean,
good?
I think Honey Don't is
because Nobody
bad.
Won was good.
Yeah, but I mean, like you also then you've exhausted all of your opportunities there. You've exhausted all the storyline. I would say highest to lowest is probably the thing that made me the angriest. Honey Don't is just garbage. I mean, like it's
was so bad.
So bad.
Yeah.
So bad. Yeah. Lily James, I think of Lily James, because you asked that question, Jason, is kind of like a Riz Ahmed. I mean, like,
right.
When I saw like, okay, like Lily James and Riz Ahmed are in this, I'm like, wait, what does she look like again?
Right.
And I don't mean,
is she the Depp? Is she Johnny Depp's kid?
I mean,
it's kind of like I have to look at both of them to see like are they different? Right. Yeah.
You know what? But I think, I don't know. I think Lily Rose Depp is a more interesting actor than Lily James. I just think she's like a solid 6 out of 10. Like she's kind of like doing yeoman's work
so
in there.
We're rating women
nothing
out of 10 now.
They're acting.
Yeah,
look, I haven't kept up with the podcast that much. I don't know. Is this what we're doing?
Look, I just think if you can get to a solid 7.5,
so she's going to be.
It's our reference for Beautiful Girls. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. She is going to be in Takashi Miike's next film, Bad Lieutenant Tokyo. And so I'm kind of in on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Also, why has that not been a thing for a really long time? Why have we not been going to like great independent auteurs to further the Bad Lieutenant movie universe?
It's because Werner Herzog did too good of a job. You know,
I mean, like, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I think Abel Ferrara's original is better than.
Oh yeah, of course.
But yeah, I mean, but that's the thing is that like, okay, so if you're gonna say that, I mean, like then, like I said, Takashi Miike is the next best thing, and then let's just start figuring it out. Let's. There's all kinds of people who can play in the Bad Lieutenant realm. I think.
Yeah. Wait, there's going to be a Baby Driver 2.
Is there? Done by.
She's going to be in it.
I don't see that. I don't see that on her upcoming list.
There's no.
The funniest bad movie I saw
see
this
her
year
in her upcoming The Angry Birds movie 3 cliffhanger. Baby Driver 2, Bad Lieutenant Tokyo.
Where do you see Baby Driver 2? Is that on your? I don't see that on IMDb.
That's what I'm looking at.
It's not on Letterboxd.
No.
Weird. Baby Driver 2. It's like it's on the website. It's not showing up for her, which I know this is interesting podcast listening to. But
did you guys see?
Is Edgar Wright doing Baby Driver? I don't think Baby Driver 2 is a thing that exists. I don't think that's
so.
Real.
It's in development.
Yeah, there's nobody. There's no directors. Right. That's something that's like, we should do this, but like
cliffhangers in post production.
I feel like in development sometimes just means you told the reporter.
Just somebody thought about it. Yeah. But no, the other ones are in post production. So yeah, no, probably not. But I just thought it was because I had forgotten she was in the first
Baby Driver 2 will be Kevin Spacey's, big return,
big comeback.
Yeah.
The Spacey songs.
Yeah.
Because that's what everyone's like clamoring for at this point.
Yeah. So the Cliffhanger remake is directed or is written by or partially written by Lily Armanpour. That's not how you say her name, but Armanpour. Anna Lily
Armanpour.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I know. That's crazy. I wonder. Anyway, yeah. Let's move on. Let's jump into our next in the Altman line, our next in the early alts, and let's talk about Brewster McCloud.
If you think Robert Altman made a mess of the Army in MASH, wait till you see what he does to the cops in Brewster McCloud.
What do you think we are down here, stupid?
We take you now to the Houston airport where super cop Frank Shaft has just arrived to work on the recent rash of mysterious strangulation murders.
What's this stuff in his eye?
It's bird.
But I don't believe we could determine what kind of bird it came from.
Now, there's a killer lives in this city, Johnson. We're going to get him, or we're going to go downtown and play politics.
Brewster McCloud, the movie that has all the cops asking one question. Who is the Houston Strangler? Could it be Daphne Heap, longtime Houston socialite?
That's why I bought you these uniforms! Now! What's the matter, honey? Your leg hurt?
God damn it! That's yours?
Could it be Douglas D. Green, longtime Houston narcotics agent?
Get over there! Green. Narcotics.
Or is it 99-year-old Leonard Wright?
Don't you ever lay a hand on my money. Cloud. 2, 3, 12.
Okay, Johnson, I see you.
Or maybe the Houston Strangler is the lovely Suzanne.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmony of liberty. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us.
Brewster McCloud, a young boy's heroic struggle against the combined forces of gravity and the Houston police.
An introverted loner living in the bowels of the Astrodome plots to develop, with the aid of a mysterious guardian angel, a pair of wings that will help him fly. Look, I think this is a sort of bug nuts brilliant kind of movie. I mean, I think to do this after MASH is just so, I don't know, ballsy kind of, but also seems to make sense, right? But I just love, like, from the opening studio logo to Renee Auberjonois, like, slowly turning into a bird. I don't know. I really dug this film, like, so much.
There's so much shit that Altman is doing with his first two films that just, like, is so brash and crazy and bold, and like you wonder if it was just like because it was the 70s, is that how he was able to get away with it? But like stopping a movie's intro, one, opening it up the way that you open it up with it. I forgot the first line.
The line, yeah.
And then opening it up with kind of this like racial commentary of a horribly sung Star Spangled Banner, stopping it halfway through, restarting the movie, and then going into Lift Up Every Voice and Sing, and like and then just going into this kind of like an hour and 45 of freeform, like just almost improvisational comedy with no real through lines except for bird shit and a kid who wants to fly. There's no other film like this. There's literally no other film like this. And I don't know how, like, Altman, and again, this is not his first two films, this is his third film, but like, I don't know how he was able to, like, and I know the studio at the end of the day did not love this film. They didn't do anything with it. I would have loved to have been in this the Astrodome when they premiered it for 23,000 people. I would have loved to have seen the reaction. And also how ridiculous that screening must have been, knowing that the Astrodome was not built for movie theater projection, so the sound would have been terrible, and like your viewing angles would have sucked, and like your projection would have just been crazy. So it had to have been a terrible experience as well. But I don't know how he gets away with this. I don't know how, like, that, this is a film that actually exists is a absolute marvel. And I think it was just wonderful and funny, and and just like, it was just awe inspiring to see, like, and again, one of the things, like, how is Altman not constantly in everyone's mouth as in regards to, like, did you see what he did with this? Did you see what, like, you've gone from MASH to this, like, why aren't we constantly talking about Altman in the same breath that we're talking about Scorsese or any of the other people that we hold in bated breath? So Ryan, how much were you associated with, or familiar with Altman's work? And I'm assuming you probably had not seen this before, if I'm guessing correctly.
100% had not seen this before. I'd never even heard of it. In terms of Altman, I've seen The Long Goodbye with the Film Club. I've seen The Player with the Film Club. Miss McCabe and Mrs. Miller, I have the Criterion of that. I quite like it. And that's it. That's my experience. And then this, which I think sometimes I make the mistake before movies, is I'll look at Letterboxd reviews and I'll think of ones that stick out to me. So someone described this as Altman's Playtime, which I love. And I just did not see that for the majority of it. I was like, okay, this is all right. I was like, maybe this 70s sort of comedy doesn't really resonate with me. But then the ending, I was like, okay, this is awesome. This brought it all together for me. And a lot of the beginning and the end is where I thought were by far the strongest parts.
I think Altman is doing so many things here. I think on kind of a meta, but also like sort of social intellectual level. I mean, so like if this film is just a takedown of so many certain aspects of society, right? Opening up with these kind of like racist socialites, right? So the Wicked Witch of the West doing her kind of like Star Spangled Banner, and then we get that turn into Lift Every Voice, and then we get the kind of like shitty landlord, whatever that guy is, right? But we get we get this take on cops and socialites and the wealthy, right? And certain types of obsessive men. And so, I mean, if this is a film kind of about like the end of an era, right? So if MASH looks at the Vietnam War and the absurdity of war, and this film seems to kind of give the crashing down of the 60s and that era of change, right? As well as an indictment of just like the American dream in general. But then he also has so many Easter eggs for other films in this movie that it's crazy the references he makes, right? From I forget her name, right? But when they find the Wicked Witch of the West Body, right? She's wearing like ruby slippers. We get Sally Kellerman, in the fountain, which callbacks like her own nude scene in MASH, but also like La Dolce Vita, right? The fountain scene there. Yeah. We get the ending that calls back to 8.5. We get the one girl wearing kind of like a Dorothy outfit. It is, I mean, there's just stuff everywhere that, and I know that I'm missing so much when I watch this film. Like I have to go back and watch this thing over and over and over to pick up on everything that's happening.
Yeah, I definitely think I'm going to rewatch to try to get it a bit better. I think the most obvious social commentary was the stuff with the cops, where that sort of really hit you in the face.
Well, and also this idea of like masculinity along with those cops as well, right? Yeah. I mean, like the guy that they bring in from San Francisco who is basically Bullet, right? Who only wears turtlenecks and like wants to be Steve McQueen. And this kind of like, this is what a man is, right? Yeah. This is what a man cop is. I also love the fact that he like kills himself in the car where he's like, my legs are crushed, I can't move. And they're like, we'll get help. Don't bother. It's just so, but it's so funny and absurd. I mean, this movie is so funny. So funny.
Yeah, I think I would say, and again, not to be this guy, but I would say I would go back and watch and not worry about trying to get it, just to let it wash over you again. Like I don't think there's like anyone who watches this, maybe outside of Altman, because I think he's playing on a different realm than, and he has no concern for his audience whatsoever. You can see it in MASH, and you can certainly see it in this. That it just. Let this film be smarter than let this film be smarter than you, like, and because it certainly probably is, and in a sense of like, and I don't mean to be denigrating it, just like it's just operating on a different wavelength and just kind of like accept it for the kind of farce, because that's what I loved about it so much is like when I was watching this, I'm just like half the shit I don't understand, like I don't necessarily know where it's going, but it's so I don't know if it's serendipitous or if it just happened to work out this way, but him tapping into court at this time, and like, I'm sure there's a lot of what he has to bring to the table. And of course he works with Duvall in like another 7 films. But
this is her first movie.
Right. This is her first movie. Right. Yeah.
I think this is incredible. Like, here's the thing, like fuck Stanley Kubrick. Right. Right. No,
but, I mean, like, though, because like,
yeah, but like, what did he do to her? Movie? Jesus Christ. I mean, she's so good in this, and the way that she works with Altman.
I thought this was like middle of her career. She was so established.
No, the way that she and Altman work together is really fantastic, is really incredible. And then like Kubrick just like wrecked her, didn't he? I mean, like really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean,
she was in 5 Altman movies in a row to start her career.
Yeah. Wow. Which, I mean, makes sense because really she does like offer this like just amazing kind of grounded version of Kellerman's character, this guardian angel that once Duvall kind of comes into Court's life, that Kellerman's no longer needed, right? But she's also kind of this free spirit that I don't know, but she's so
she's a proto manic pixie dream girl, right?
Right, sure, yeah. But I think having like, it's weird because you see Court now, and I know, he had the accident and he hasn't, I don't think he was ever probably destined for, although at certain points he did kind of have that rugged leading man look to him. But like he was so able to drive this. And like, this is so wildly different than, and I think anyway, from what he would go on to do next, which is Harold and Maude, which I think he's great in that as well.
Yeah.
But like, there's a level of kind of the graduate in Harold and Maude that doesn't exist in this. There's this kind of cocksuredness, like, because when he's doing the 250 half pull-ups and whatever, and his like ridiculous underwear, and and the other girl who's like bringing him food is going crazy underneath the blankets. This, like, but also, you know, so all of that being said, I think what Altman, I don't know, it's not something he looks into this, but has such an eye for and of driving this kind of talent, and like really kind of then honing in on these what would normally be character actors and putting them in lead roles and letting them like really, really move this film along, because you wouldn't see that, especially after Court, you know, Court gets into his accident, but he knows how to also then work with, you know, his side characters, which are, most of them are from MASH anyway, that he pulls over and keeps in and still great roles that kind of like, that really, you know, speak to their strengths as well. I think, and he moves things, like you said, the way that he moves things along and still surprises you, which I think, you know, my only take on this movie that's negative is I think the car chase scene goes on too long. But then once you end it with Shaft killing himself, how can you fault it, really? I mean, at that point, it's such a crazy, like, out, and I know, and again, like you said, I know what he was trying to do with the bullet chase scenes and things like that. Also coming after seeing one battle after another, it's hard to like compare car chase scenes that kind of ratchet up the tension like that. But I mean, it's Altman, especially at this time. Like, if you look at who else was making films, and like who else is making like blockbuster films, and I know this is not a blockbuster film, but MASH, for all intents and purposes, was, like, no one was this experimental, no one was this funny, like no one. I mean, like, when guys tried, when the bigs tried to do something like this, if you take a look at like Spielberg's 1941, it's a complete mess. Like, I mean, and you know, and I mean, that's not like Altman wouldn't come up with missteps, but I mean, like, most of Altman's missteps weren't because of Altman per se. They were just because, like, if you take a look at something like Popeye, right? It wasn't really because, you know, it was Altman's fault that they just ran out of money, you know. So it was a matter of the studio not wanting to back, you know, and kind of finish films that Altman, where he needed resources. It's like I said, like Coppola, Spielberg, none of those guys, you know, they were not doing anything like this. And it is, like I said, it's crazy that we don't, you know, I say this on the podcast all the time, we're not celebrating. Like, Brewster McCloud is not, like, I know why is this not in the Criterion Collection? I mean, I know it's on the channel, but like, why have we not done a huge retrospective of this? And like, and I know that, like, you know, Radiance did a release of O.C. and Stiggs for, you know,
and Thieves Like Us.
And Thieves Like Us was Vinegar Syndrome. So I mean, I know that they're getting some recognition, but like, this feels like it's just ripe for rediscovery or discovery for the first time altogether. Because it's not, while it does feel like it's a little bit ahead of like everyone who's watching it. I don't feel like it's inaccessible in the sense of like you just kind of give up on it at any point in time. It's still enjoyable throughout the entire thing.
And there is a through line. I mean, there is a kind of like controlling thought in this film, as sort of lucid as it is, but it's something that everything else in the film attaches itself to, right? I mean, like, you could sum this up like in a plot as like, you know, a guy wants to fly, right? A guy is sort of building a machine to fly, and everything else, right, is attached to that. And so, like, who kind of cares where else we go? Because we're all kind of having fun, I think, at that point too.
But can you imagine this film in anybody else's hands? Now that you've seen it like this, like,
no.
Like this is not a film that existed. Like, Altman didn't write this. This was a script that was bouncing around for a while. You can't imagine that this script, like, that Altman does the exact same thing he does to MASH. He basically like keeps the beats and throws everything else out. Like, this was a Bob Dylan vehicle for a while. This is, you know, there was like, I cannot for the life of me imagine this film as any other thing than how it exists here, and how mundane it would be in anybody else's hands, of like, you know, and would it end with our hero basically running out of steam and then dying on the
That's the
on
thing.
the floor
Like
of the Astrodome.
in somebody else's hands, they're going to try to make this a straightforward narrative. And I don't think it would work as a straightforward narrative, right? I mean, it's got to have that sort of Altman, like, we're going to do a bunch of vignettes. We're going to move the camera a bunch, right? We're going to do some interesting editing. And also we're going to have this like weird insert of, again, Rene Auberjonois, that guy, slowly turning into a bird as he lectures, right? And a class. I mean, no one else is going to do that and make it work, right? And I know this bombed at the time, but right, it doesn't work as a straightforward, like, let's explain what Sally Kellerman actually is in this film, right? Let's explain. It's just, yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I just don't like. I mean, like, if you tried to do this, this feels like if you tried to do this any other way, it would end up being some sort of like Gary Coleman vehicle where like he ends up flying out of the top of the Astrodome. Where it becomes this like, happy-go-lucky story that. But even then, like, again, I get the whole bird shit thing just, and
it's so funny.
I read Ebert's review and was just like, yeah, trying to explain this doesn't make just watch the movie. Like, I can't even write about it. Like, here's the thing. Like, I'm going to give you the plot beats, but that does not describe the experience of watching this film.
Ebert and Siskel both really dug it.
Yeah. And I think, what's really interesting too is like all of the things that this thing is trying to say, and it really is, such a interesting indictment on racism in 1970 that I don't know, aside from maybe a handful of Black directed pictures, were you really getting any of that kind of social commentary in films of this time? And I can't really think of any outside of, like I said, outside of like People's films or something along the lines that were directed by Black filmmakers.
Yeah, I don't think any other white filmmakers were really commenting on any of this stuff, right?
No, not that I know of.
And
Tarantino hated this film. Did you know that?
No, really? I didn't.
Yeah, Tarantino hates this film. He's like, what does he call it? He called it like one of the worst pieces of shit he's ever seen. I know, like, I don't get this at all, right? I don't get that at all.
Yeah, like, I was confused. I think my confusion led from me thinking of The Long Goodbye, and I was like, okay, it's going to be straightforward.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't get a straightforward movie, so I think I need another watch where I just sit back and let it happen.
Jason, do you think that it's easier to watch this after having watched MASH?
Yeah, I think yes, I think what I would do, Ryan, if I were you, and again, is to kind of go back and like hit Nashville, and get a little bit more of the vibe of Altman at the time, because he was doing things with overlapping dialogue, which we do throughout his career, and he was kind of the pioneer of that. But like doing things with overlapping dialogue, paying attention to background work rather than foreground work, so much stuff going on in the scene, even where like certain things are being blocked out by certain like characters you wouldn't think of, shouldn't be blocking out main action. That this is a difficult one to jump into without having a kind of a better understanding of, not understanding necessarily, but a better
context,
feel, just get feel for like Altman's world and his style of filmmaking. Because this is unforgiving from the jump, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
now again, like just without the lion's roar from the logo, right? And I forgot the first line. I mean, it just again sets the tone immediately that we are in for something different. So yeah, let's see.
I don't know if Tarantino really gets comedy. Like, I mean, like, one,
this is a true comedy. Like, I can definitely see, I think, because I was thinking about it before about, I don't know if I have problems with 70s comedy, because there's a lot of comedies from the 70s I love, but like there's definitely a distinction between something like this and something like Some Like It Hot, or like a Billy Wilder, like 50s film. and then leading into the 60s. I think this still is sort of holdover and part of the 60s. Like all I could think about, I kept thinking about like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I guess the color scheme just sort of gave me that sort of mindset throughout.
And there's a kind of surrealism in this film as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there's definitely, it's very stark from what comes afterwards, later on in the 70s, leading into the 80s, where you start getting your formulaic 80s comedies.
Like God Told Me To.
Let me check that.
You should see God Told Me To.
Yeah,
but yes,
I was kidding though. It's not. It's not really a comedy.
It's not funny. It's not funny at all. Yeah. I'm trying to. I was trying to pull up what's specific. I know that he talked about McCloud in Cinema Speculation, but
I have that. I haven't.
Definitely recommend digging into Larry Cohen's filmography, which is more schlocky for sure and way more low budget. But to this, and I haven't read what Tarantino said. So, but like
here, I can tell you, I can give
ahead.
you like a little bit. Tarantino, he described it as, quote, one of the worst movies to ever carry a studio logo, and that's fully acknowledging Altman also made Quintet for a studio as well. And he goes on, he calls this, quote, the cinematic equivalent of a bird shitting on your head. End quote.
And I think that says way more about him than it says about the film. I mean, like, again, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't enjoy Tarantino's films, but like, are any of them inherently funny? I don't think that he enjoys, like, one, being questioned about his potential racist tendencies.
Right.
And like, I don't think he likes to have that thrown in his face. And I think he likes to have, I mean, as much as we like to clap him on the back for having a nonlinear storytelling style, his movies are all pretty straightforward in the sense of how they tell stories. They're all pretty very simple. Good guys are good guys, bad guys are bad guys. And never the tween shall meet. I mean, again, I know I'm simplifying to a very extent, but I mean, like, but for something like this, like, when have you ever known Tarantino to be experimental other than just referential more than anything else? And again, that's not to say that he doesn't make great films, but and that he adds his own style to the originality, but like, he's, again, I don't think he has, and I think this film is, like I said, you have to allow, and I think if you can just kind of listen to Tarantino, I think he likes to believe that he's the smartest guy in the room when it comes to, especially when it's talking about film. And I don't
never trust those guys.
And I don't think and I don't think this film would allow you to do that. I don't think this film allows you to feel smart in any sort of way, shape whatsoever. And I think you've got to have some sort of ability to kind of like, one, let this wash over you, and a sense of like also being able to kind of understand that, it's doing more than you're probably able to take in on a single viewing. And, like I said, I mean, like, yeah, when have you ever known Tarantino to ever look at anything slapsticky or without some sort of like uber sense of reverence or seriousness to it? So
and you have to, like, I mean, like, that seems
silly, like to get to one. I'm sorry, man, I don't keep stepping on you, but like, it seems silly just to say this is one of the worst films to ever hold it. I mean, like, have you seen Gone Fishing? I mean, there's a whole bunch of films that suck. That are, I mean, like, you're just being hyperbolic to shit on a director who probably wouldn't have liked you, dude, and like wouldn't have liked your films.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I was gonna say, like, with this film, you have to like relinquish a certain amount of control, right? In trying to figure, like you said, try to figure everything out. And Tarantino's probably not one to do that, but like you said, he is referential rather than sort of, he's working more in pastiche than he is kind of trying to do something original from the very beginning, right? So here's Altman doing something that at the time no one else is doing, right? And yeah, for Tarantino's sort of episodic kind of chapterized nature of some of the storytelling, this is something way different than that, and so this does kind of. It gives a sense of like Schadenfreude, of just like something that he couldn't do. And so fuck that guy, right? Just like, well, this movie sucks, right? Because you couldn't pull it off in a kind of way, right? I find Tarantino to be kind of solipsistic in his filmmaking as well. So, yeah.
And it probably comes down to like them shitting on the Shaft character in a sense and letting Shaft kill himself at the sense that he finds himself ineffectual during a car chase and then like pissing him off from that perspective as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because shouldn't that be the hero?
Right.
Yeah, Tarantino's kind of a macho dude, all right? For like, you know, I don't know, or wants to come off as macho, or more macho than like.
Well, I mean, like the discourse around the early '90s video store phenomenon, right? And again, I think a lot of this, like, it was cool to be too cool, like to be that kind of like, you know, I mean, if you take a look at like Smith's Clerks, right? I mean, like everyone kind of wanted to fancy themselves as Dante and Randall, right? These guys that could, you know, spew out pop culture references and talk about films that no one had ever heard of, and do it in this kind of like aloof, funny way. And I think that like really truly permeated like the conversation. I don't think Tarantino ever shied away from that, and he really leaned into this idea that he was this, you know, LA video store clerk who wrote 3 films, and this was he was kind of that underdog. And then when he, you know, and then very quickly was able to parlay it into worldwide, you know, fame and box office success. And to his credit, I mean, obviously, but I don't think his rhetoric ever ramped up beyond like, I'm so cool because I've watched all of Hitchcock Presents, and you know, and like, you know, and that I've seen every obscure blaxploitation film and can reference it in my own movies. And that made it, there was this idea that this, especially then, which was, you know, because we mentioned this before, but it wasn't like, not everything was so prevalently available, you know, it wasn't so readily available, right? So like, if you were watching Japanese cinema in the 90s, early 2000s, or if you were in the know in regards to even like art house stuff, like that just wasn't something that was sitting on you know, every single Blockbuster shelf. You had to have the avenues, you had to be able to like you know, find that type of, you know, those types of movies. And so you were able to gatekeep in a way that made you feel superior to the people who didn't have it. And then people who didn't have it held you up in some high regard. And that was the kind of the prevailing thought of that time, when if you didn't read the right magazine or you didn't watch the best, you know, the right movie, you know, then you could listen to these conversations, but you certainly couldn't take place in them. And I think that was what I won't ascribe that to Smith, but I definitely would say that is how Tarantino, if not was, behaved. And, you know, and that's kind of like, I think that kind of bravado and helped him because he could reference all these films that people had forgotten about or hadn't seen. And like, aside from these old movie reviewers who were kind of holding him up because they remembered the films that he was referencing, and to this audience that like they'd never seen anything like that before. So like when you see Jackie Brown and you haven't seen Pam Grier in anything besides, you know, or anything, you know, maybe besides a few like made for TV movies, then you think this is revolutionary when it's a great movie, but it's not like it's, I mean, it's still an Elmore Leonard film, and it's not, you know, it's not like it's like laying completely new ground. And yeah, I mean, like, but not to have reverence for Altman, I think, like I said, speaks way more about Tarantino than it does, obviously, than it does for Brewster McCloud or for Altman. And I think, you know, the thing is, like, it's what I think Altman gets out of this, and kind of going back to what I was saying before, is that like, you don't really see Duvall, Court, Kellerman, like these actors pop really in other films. And I think that's what he can do. I think Court is so amazing. I mean, you know, guys like Ashby, of course, you know, can pull things out, but like, I think there's something to be said for Altman recognizing this talent and like really making shine. I mean, like Duvall, like she might as well. I mean, like I know she dresses up as a Raggedy Ann doll at the end, but like how he has her dressed and how her eyes are just like nearly bigger than her fucking head in this movie. I mean, it's just so amazing. And then, like, if you were to have told me when I saw this movie that Duvall actually was an Astrodome tour guide, I would have believed you. Like, she's so good in that moment, and like, it's just like, that's crazy because you know that was not scripted, right? You know that those lines, like, there were moments, but like her talking about that, and talking to the crowd and all that stuff, then not everything was on the page there. She was told to give a tour of the Astrodome, and she did it. And like, the other, just because they talk about like the moment of like, well, they're not actually bathrooms. There's no basin. You can't take a bath. She's so good. She's so good.
Shower.
Ryan, any last thoughts on Brewster McCloud?
Yeah, I thought it was a really interesting movie. I'm definitely going to give it another watch. Yeah, I think I'm going to explore Altman a bit more. I think I didn't know what to think of him before. I just thought, oh, he made a few good movies, and so I'm going to take a bit more of a deeper dive.
Yeah, I would definitely check out Nashville. I would go Shortcuts. Those two, I think, are kind of the seminal ones that, like, we don't really like. Shortcuts when it came out was pretty well revered. So is Nashville.
But you have to then like read the Raymond Carver stuff too.
True. Right.
I mean, you should.
Right. But I think, those are his kind of magnum opuses. Those are his most like Paul Thomas Anderson films, right? So those were the ones when Anderson was coming out with Boogie Nights and Magnolia. Everyone was comparing him to Altman because of the overlapping storylines. All of that was predicated on Nashville and Shortcuts. So go watch those. I think you'll be blown away by both of those. They're both in the Criterion collection as well. And then just start peppering around. I definitely would go back and visit MASH because I think MASH is probably one of the more like accessible ones in regards to just like storyline and it also like in between storyline and getting you adjusted to like the overall vibe of his films. But yeah, dabble in the 70s era for a minute, and I don't think you're not gonna hit too many that you're gonna be displeased with for sure.
Yeah, I think MASH gives you a nice base to kind of then like work from.
Especially if you've never seen the TV series, because the TV, if you've seen the TV series, which would have been, you're too young. No offense, you're too young for that show. So if you have to pick it on when you were, and so like
I think it was
not
when my parents were in high school.
So not.
I think
not
it got
that,
over to Ireland definitely.
Not having that reference because the TV show was such a pop culture icon. So watching the TV show and then going back to the movie is a little bit jarring because some of the things are there, but then like all the characters you quote unquote know and love are different, played by different actors. So not having the reference to the TV show helps when you watch the movie. And he's doing things like what's crazy too is like he's doing things with credits and like just kind of the normal conventions of filmmaking.
Oh, the
which is
end
so much
credits
fun.
with the sort of circus. I love that.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, this is where it becomes playtime. This is all I could think of as Tati at the end.
But it's also like such an 8.5 throwback too.
Yeah.
To the closing there. So.
Yeah, I love that the Wicked Witch of the West is not actually shown. She's just behind American flag. I think that's really telling as well. Yeah, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And Bud Cort introducing the Where's Waldo character for the first time in the.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if anyone was wondering Where's Waldo came from, there you go. That's it.
I think maybe the Tati stuff too is that there is a level of slapstick to this that is almost off-putting in this movie in a lot of ways. Like the overweight Astrodome security guard is I was kind of like waddling around and looking for Bud Cort's character. There's just so much going on. Like even the kind of like the bumbling cops in a way, but like the ridiculously tall cop that's like hitting on the racist cops, the narcotics cops, his widow. The sequence that really made me laugh was when Shaft is in the library. And that guy's describing how tall that guy is. And he's like, no, it's like, I goes, well, I'm 6'1". He's like, but I'm taller than you. And he's like, you're standing on a ladder.
I love that line. That was hilarious.
And so they switch places. And he's like, if you're saying he's 4'2", they had to be at least 3'9". Like, it's just like.
I also like when the photographer is taking a picture of the tall cop and then the cop's widow getting married, and he's like, okay, hold it, don't move. And he like, goes off to photograph the wreck, and they're still just like standing dead still.
Right.
But again, like something that you could miss, right? If you're not paying attention. So a lot of stuff going on in that movie, a lot of stuff that I think just kind of comes out and like in recognition and multiple viewings. So everyone out there, go watch Brewster McCloud like 6 times in a row, back to back to back, so that you'll be even more prepared when we talk about McCabe and Mrs. Miller, right? Which we're doing next, along with a double feature of Good Boys. One a dog, one wants to be a dog.
2022 and 2025, good
yeah.
boys.
Yes. So, yeah.
Anything you've seen or interested in talking about, Ryan, before we break for the day?
Yeah, I'm curious what you guys are most excited for the rest of this year. Like I'm looking forward to Begonia next week. Hopefully, No Other Choice comes to, because I'll either be in DFW or Nashville for Christmas. I don't know if I told y'all that my dad got a new job in Nashville.
Oh, cool.
So they're going to be moving there. So I will be doing Thanksgiving in Nashville.
Okay.
But wherever I am, I want to see No Other Choice, Rental Family. I'm hoping to find a way to see It Was Just an Accident and The Secret Agent. So,
yeah. Those two I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, those two are those are the top of my list.
Those two
seem so difficult to get to see.
I know. Die My Love is another one.
That
I'm looking forward to.
I was looking at the Cinemark subreddit. That is one of the potential ones for secret screening tomorrow. So that could actually be that could break the trend.
And I'm looking forward to the new Running Man. I was going to say,
I think that would be fun.
I know, Ryan, you're going to be looking forward to Now You See Me, Now You Don't, coming out November 14th.
I watched Now You See Me, the first one, recently. Never seen it before, and I was like, this sucks. Like,
it's such a nothing burger of a film. Like, it's so
that people love. People like, I told people about this, like college students, my classmates, and they're like, "What is wrong with you? That's an amazing movie." And it's
better than the second one, but
but it's There's movies like that, like World War Z, and shit.
Boondock Saints.
My parents loved Boondock Saints when I was a kid, but
I like these movies. They
watching
get kind
as
of
an adult,
status,
I'm like,
right? Because people,
terrible.
right.
I do want to see. Running Man. I'm extremely excited about that one. And as much as I don't really like Glenn necessarily, I think Edgar Wright's take on this can be a whole lot of fun. And I do like that it's sticking closer to the actual novella than the. Although I mean, for as trash cinema goes, I love the Schwarzenegger one.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it until I saw an episode of Chad Powers, which is the worst television show I've ever seen.
But I'm interested to see, if they let Glenn Powell, is he going to do something different than he's been doing in every other fucking film he's been in, right? And that's what it looks like to me. And that's what he looks a little unhinged in this, like just from the previews. And so that makes me interested to see it.
Glenn Powell is very quickly potentially becoming Sam Worthington. So he has an opportunity here to break out of that, like making this where he has sustainability beyond Worthington's next film of Avatar, Fire and Ash, which like at that point, like, why would you do anything different? Like, why just rest on your laurels and take Avatar's films? Like,
isn't he going to be in the new David McKenzie film too?
Probably.
No, I think he actually is.
Him and Riz Ahmed and Lily James are going to be. It's just going to be called Snore. What else am I looking forward to seeing? Yeah, but Begonia's probably the one thing that I'm really.
Holy shit, he is. He actually is.
Of course, he is. Yeah. I'm excited for Sisu 2. I think that's going to be a lot of fun as far as like a kind of a holiday. But yeah, I'm hoping that one's fun. And then, not Art House, but Brock hates musicals, but I liked Wicked, so I'm looking forward to Wicked for Good too. Wicked for Good as well.
Wicked Witch of the West.
No, that looks terrible, and I mean, I probably will see it, but I don't understand. Like, why are we doing it this way? Like, why? I don't need to see something through the eyes of a predator, right? I mean, I just don't like. This idea that like the predators are now the good guys, like I don't get it.
They were misunderstood this entire time.
Right. So yeah, no, I'm not overly excited about that. But
Nope. Yeah, and then we'll see what else. I
What are
don't
you
know
most
what
looking
else is
forward
coming
to at the Lone Star?
in December.
Well, we're doing the Q&A for a film called Due West, which we saw at Diff, and we didn't actually see it with the crowd, and so I'm interested to see that one with a. So we interviewed Evan and Adrian Pelicki afterwards. We only had like 20 minutes with them, and we won't have that much more longer time with Evan this time but we had got a screen edge for it. So I'm interested to see that with the crowd, especially now that everything's kind of, so it's about this young woman who finds herself in a womanly way and has to deal with that. So it's obviously she's in Texas. You like the way that I characterize that? She finds herself with women troubles and outside of that, I don't have anything that's like popping out at me. I've been just interested in like kind of supporting the event more than anything else. I mean, like, Lone Star is different in a way that like Oak Cliff and Diff aren't. That like the narratives they seem to be very kind of like specific to a certain kind of threat. So like, I don't know. There's things that I'm looking forward to, but like I've nothing that name off the top of my head, to be quite honest, which is a little weird. But
I'm still upset you guys didn't get to go to AFFD because.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. That was fun.
Yeah.
Potentially we may get the program out there next year, so we're hoping for that. So
nice.
We have to respond to him. We have to tell him that we're interested.
Yeah.
Did you?
No, I have not yet. But
okay.
But I will. Yeah. So I'm definitely like yeah, we definitely will, because I definitely want to do that. I just have you seen Mastermind yet, Brock?
No, did you?
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
I couldn't get out. I couldn't get, the hour away to do it.
The Kelly Reichardt one? The new one?
Yes, the Kelly Reichardt one. There's only one mastermind, and her name is Kelly Reichardt.
Is anybody be interested in seeing After the Hunt, the Guadagnino film?
Oh man, yeah. I don't know. I'm so kind of out on him.
Yes.
Did you see
like
Queer?
4 movies come out in 2 years? Like,
yeah. I didn't really care for Queer that much.
See, I liked Queer. I thought Queer was good.
I thought it was better than Challengers.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's not saying much, but yeah, sure.
Right. But I'm just not. I don't know. So this one. Yes, but then like the kind of premise of it, or at least from like what I've been reading, makes me a little skeptical. But yes, I guess. I don't know. It's got Io Edeberry is in it, and I'm always interested in what she's doing. So, I even watched Opus because of her. So
that's another one of the movies that was pretty shitty this year. As far as like bad films go.
No, the funniest bad movie, I was going to say earlier, the funniest bad movie I've seen all year was Den of Thieves 2.
Oh, God, yeah. No, that was pretty bad.
Dude,
Gee,
Ice Cube Jr. put on so much weight. Like,
well, and he put on a really bad accent, too. Good Lord.
Yeah. The outfits also, the outfits he wore, I just felt like he was really trying to get like the 50-year-old lady crowd. Like they would have loved him in the way he dressed.
Yeah, no,
so
that was not good.
That reminded me though, the worst film that I've seen this year is War of the Worlds. The Amazon Ice Cube.
Oh, the Ice Cube, yeah.
Film.
I'm very lucky to have not seen it.
That by far shouldn't be a thing. It just shouldn't be a thing. It is one of the. I mean, like,
is it really just like an advertisement for Amazon?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And but also worse. It is a like almost an advertisement for Homeland Security and hyper surveillance of citizenry.
Oh, wow.
Which is it's not so much it's just a bad movie, but it also like then puts everything that Ice Cube has ever like supposedly stood for or ever done in his life at question as well. Like, I mean, like how someone, and we talked about this in the podcast before, but how someone who wrote the song "Fuck the Police" can then go back and this so many years later become just a puppet for propaganda.
Authority
It's
figures, yeah.
right. It's just, and it's not so much the, I can look. I've seen plenty of films that have been basically blatant advertisements that I didn't despise. But that part of the film is really the most disgusting. It's not so much like, oh, they've got to like order from Amazon to save the day. Yeah, that's stupid. But it's so blaringly obvious that like it's easily dismissible. The other part is just like, you were a voice of a generation. Like, and not only that, you were like the voice that like kind of bridged the gap between races for a generation. And like, this is what you've become. Like, this is what you're okay for money. And this is like, I know we talked about like the Riyadh Comedy Festival. It's just like, we've seen so much of that this year of like people ridiculously selling out any sort of values.
The thing that bothers me the most, I'm sorry, thinking about the Riyadh Comedy Festival, about people's justification for that, is that they're like, oh, we're just making these oppressed people laugh. It's like, you're not performing for the for the oppressed people of Saudi Arabia. You're performing for the ruling class. Like, they're not the ones who are getting tickets to that. Like, it's the wealthy oil barons. Like,
no, it's disgusting.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that is a perfect note to end the podcast on.
One last question. Sorry for constantly. I think we already talked about it over text, but what did you get during the flash sale, and what are you going to buy at Barnes and Noble for the Criterion, if you are?
Man, you act like people around here are just like swimming in cash.
Well, I see all the Shaw scope stuff behind Jason and all the stuff on your wall. So like,
what? My books?
Those are books.
Yeah, those are books.
What are those? Do they have discs in them?
Gross.
I know. Yeah. What are books?
Yeah.
Can
I put that on a Blu-ray player?
Books on my wall. No. Yeah. You can.
How do you watch this?
Yeah.
No, Ryan, I was going to wait for the Barnes and Noble sale. I think to get a few things.
I don't like Criterion's this. You've got to buy within a day and
like, fuck you, don't tell me.
Right. And don't start ordering me around. I don't need that kind of pressure. Like, just I'll order when it's a whole month's worth of stuff. So we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'm also like really interested I really want to pick up the new Scorsese World Cinema set with The Fall of Otrar in it.
Yeah.
I really I forget when exactly that's coming out, but that's one that I really want. But yeah, so I'll probably wait until that Barnes and Noble sale to pick up some stuff. I don't just have cash to throw around willy-nilly in 24 hours. I got mouths to feed around here, man.
Oh, true.
I got a hungry dog. So, what did you end up getting? Money bags. We all can't like sumo wrestle for money, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I've not made a single dollar to sumo wrestle yet.
Yeah. Okay.
And even for this event, I'm getting probably just flight and accommodation. So
it's more than we're getting.
I got The Wiz. Yeah. I got Saving Face, Cairo Station, Evil Does Not Exist, and No Bears.
Okay, yeah, No Bears. No Bears is dope.
Yeah.
Cairo Station is pretty amazing. That director, and I can't pronounce his name or remember his name at the moment, but Cairo Station is really is. Have you seen it?
No.
It's great. In fact, all of his films are. Some are a lot longer and sort of more melodramatic. I mean, in terms of melodramas that they are, but they're really good. And then, wait, what else? Cairo Station.
Saving Face.
Evil Does Not Exist.
Which I love. Hamaguchi, because he made Drive My Car, right? Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
And then No Bears, which is the gentleman who made...
it was just an accident. Yep.
So
yeah, and he's good. He's great. I mean, boy, there's a hot take. Yeah, Farpahani is a really good director. Yeah. No Bears is cool.
That's a controversial opinion, you know?
Yeah, I know.
This widely lauded director.
I know. Anyway.
You only get the hottest takes on this podcast.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here.
Good movies are good, guys.
Good movies. Good movies are good. Yeah, world-renowned all tours make some good films. Okay, all right. So you heard it here. Next time we're going to do McCabe and Mrs. Miller. We're going to do 2 variations on A Good Boy, and we're going to keep talking up Rugby Ryan's sumo career. When he sends us information, we will send it out to you, listener.
Maybe we could stream it and do live commentary on Riverside while he's.
You could,
except it would just be Hakoi Red Pussy.
Yeah,
right. For all the Red Pussy fans out there in internet land.
That's it. That would be it. Ryan, anything else?
Yeah, follow Aggie Arthouse. That's the Arthouse Cinema Club here at A&M. I'm a part of. We are doing our own screening of of Rocky Horror on Thursday night. So
nice.
Cool. We are doing some interesting stuff this month. Despite my arguments and my push, we are not showing The House of Yes. We're instead showing Party Girl for our Parker Posey themed, because it's her birthday in November. So we're showing Party Girl. We're showing Love Letter, I think, is our end of the month movie, Japanese film. So we have some other stuff. I can't actually remember off the top of my head what it is, but support Aggie Arthouse and follow me, Rugby Ryan Reviews, if you want to learn about sumo and my amazingly correct movie opinions I put in the story. So
we will post links to all of that stuff in the show notes. So when you're listening, check the show notes and click on those things.
Yep.
Ryan, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us and having all the good takes.
We've missed you, man. So we'll hope to see you back in Fort Worth soon.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Hoping to be back with the Real House Foundation and doing some events, and maybe we could show The House of Yes. I just want the whole world to see that movie.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I don't know why you need to start trying to put on your big boy britches here and tell us what we're going to do.
We'll show it November 22nd.
Yeah, wait, when are you going to be in Nashville? That's when. Oh, special screening of The House of Yes. We tried to get Rugby Ryan here, folks, but he was too busy.
Well, that's like I was so upset. I was I had an exam or a test during your showing of Battle Royale. I was so upset.
Yeah, we missed it.
It was fun.
No,
it was fun.
It would have been better if you were there, but it was still pretty good. So.
We had a good turnout for Cure as well, so Cure turned out pretty good. So.
That would have been amazing. And you did Hero, right?
We did, yeah. And that was it was really beautiful just to see it on the big screen, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Or is it The Hero? Because Hero is
it's The Hero.
Jet Li
it's the
movie.
Hero.
Where's the Jet Li?
The Jet Li,
Yes, and the Dustin Hoffman film from the 90s, but
that's
no
right.
one talks about
That's
that
right. I know. I mean, he saved people from a plane crash. How do you know?
He did.
He's a hero.
Was Gina Davis in that too?
I think so. Yeah,
I think so.
That was their big love movie together. Weren't they interests?
Which was weird. I know. Yes, I think so. Or she was anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks again, Ryan. We appreciate you being here today and talking about these 3 films. Two good ones. One film that does not exist, or in 5 years won't exist. All right. For everyone else out there, thank you so much for listening.
And keep screaming.
You have been listening to Why Does the Wilhelm Scream with your hosts, Brock and Jason. If you liked today's episode, do us a favor and rate, review, and subscribe in whatever application you use to consume podcasts these days. You can reach us by visiting whydoesthewilhelmscream.com. If you are in the DFW area, we would love to see you at a Fort Worth Film Club event. You can learn more about those and find a full schedule at fortworthfilmclub.com. And you can learn about my foundation and how we are trying to foster the next generation of film lovers at realhousefoundation.org. That's REEL housefoundation.org. Till next time,